My Maumelle is hometown.
My Maumelle is about unity.
My Maumelle is family.
My Maumelle is a place for families.
My Maumelle is home.
My Maumelle is community.
My Maumelle is family.
My Maumelle is my comfort zone.
Hi, I'm Sydney. You may have wondered, who were those people? Well, they're your Maumelle City Council. In today's video, you'll find out what City Council is, what they do, and who they are. First, what is a City Council? It is a legislative body of a city that governs the city and sets policies. Maumelle's council is split into 4 wards where 2 representatives represent each area of the town. This means we have 8 council members total who serve a 4-year term. It's important to know who is representing you and your family in the city you love and care about so much. So let's go meet them. In Ward 1, Position 1, we have Councilmember Steve Mosley. We met at Park on the River, which is in Ward 1.
I lived here 37 years, and so I think of it as my hometown, but I'm originally from Oklahoma. I grew up in Tulsa, went to Oklahoma State University, and lived in Kansas City and Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. My favorite thing about Maumelle is actually, I'm going to say, safety. We have a very, very safe community. We have a fire department that's very passionate about their work. We have a police department that has always done a fine job. We've got the way Maumelle is laid out. It's hard for criminals to come in here and do things. And if they do, sometimes they get lost trying to get out, and so we can catch them. Yes, my life is very busy, actually. It's too busy for my age, but I'm very involved with being prepared for council meetings and things like that, and then I work full-time. I have family that lives all over the country, and so we try to visit all that. So I really don't have too much time for hobbies. I do have an old 1990 300 ZX that I'm trying to restore and get back into good working and cosmetic condition.
Next up in Ward 1, Position 2, we have Councilmember Christine Grunwald. We met at the newly named Birch Johnson Baseball Complex.
Well, I'm an only child. I grew up in Little Rock, Arkansas, lived there all my life, went to college in Fayetteville, and my husband and I moved to Maumelle 9 years ago. I have 2 stepdaughters. There's always something to do. There are parks to walk in and have picnics. There's lots of community around. There's trunk or treats. There's always some kind of event to attend, and we love being part of that. Well, for the past 22 years of my career, about half of that was strictly in marketing and advertising, and for the past 11 or 12 years, I have been in nonprofit, working in development and fundraising. Oh my goodness, I love to be outside. My husband and I both love to be outside. We like to grill. We've started gardening. I like to go horseback riding, although it's been years. We like to go bowling. We like anything outdoors, and we also love watching movies together. My favorite place is probably Lake Willistine. I have a lot of fond memories there, taking our girls when we were little to see the ducks and to see the lake and have picnics and lots of fun. My favorite thing about Maumelle is that there are so many residents who want to be involved. They want to voice their opinion. They want to get involved and help the community. So that's my favorite thing and my favorite place.
On to Ward 2, Position 1, we have Councilmember R.J. Mazzoni. We met at the City Hall Council Chambers.
Retired after 22 years in the Air Force, and we wanted to stay in the state and looked around, and pretty much Maumelle fit the bill for everything. We have 2 kids, want to have them grow up here, and again, we just love the family environment. Who wouldn't? So this was the obvious place to settle down. I was complaining to my wife a lot about the city finances at the time, and I guess she had enough, and she told me to either do something about it or shut up. So I ran for city council, and took me 2 times to get elected, but I did get elected the 2nd time. Outside of city council, well, like everyone, have a job, work, that takes bulk of the time, but a lot of the other time is spent with my boys. I have 2 kids. They're involved in swimming, love to swim, so we do that a lot, as well as a lot of woodworking, teaching the boy how to build his furniture for his bedroom right now. So that's our big project. So we like that, and flying drones. We like to fly drones. That's about what we do in all our spare time. The favorite place is we just spend a lot of time down at probably Lake Willistine. We do the most going down there, especially when the boys were smaller. The playgrounds there were awesome. Having them run around with the geese was always fun. But now as they get older, I think we spend more of our time at the different restaurants. Gotta eat. So I think the favorite of the boys is Dave's Burgers.
Next up in Ward 2, Position 2, we have Councilmember Chad Gardner. We met at one of the many pocket parks in Maumelle, the POA Park in Ward 2.
I've lived in Arkansas my whole life. I grew up in Glenwood, Arkansas, which is just outside of Hot Springs. Went to school at Harding University up in Searcy, and I have been in Central Arkansas since 1999, and I've lived in Maumelle since 2013. I came to Maumelle because my wife and I had twins, and we were looking for a bigger house, and she was pregnant with our 3rd, and so she was working in Little Rock at the time, and Maumelle was the perfect spot for us to be. And we just fell in love with the parks and the trails, and it's a great place to raise a family, so that's why we're here. Outside of the council, my family stays pretty active. We enjoy going out on the trails here. We also get out of town a lot and go to the lake. That's where we're going to be pretty much every summer, is out on Lake Ouachita. We really enjoy that time as a family to be out there doing water sports and stuff like that. So we enjoy the outdoors. If it's summertime, we're going to be outside, that's for sure. You know, my favorite thing I think is the way it's so natural still, with all the trees and the parks that we have. I think my favorite place would probably be Lake Willistine, just because there's so much to do there, with the lake itself, the trails around it. My kids enjoyed the playground when they were little. Now they enjoy the trails and riding their bikes all over the place. So I think that's probably my favorite spot in town, is Lake Willistine.
For Ward 3, Position 1, we have Councilmember Terry Williams. We met at the gazebo at Lake Valencia in Ward 3.
Well, I am originally from Northeast Louisiana. I moved here in 1996 to run the reentry services operation here in Little Rock. Met and fell in love with Sam Williams. We moved here after we got married in 2000, so we have been living, working, and playing here in Maumelle for 23 years. I've been on the City Council about 6 years. The first time that I even thought about running for City Council was just, I felt like I had an opportunity to make a difference, do something, give back to this beautiful community that had given so much to me. For the last 28 years, I have been the Executive Director of City of Faith Reentry Services. We are a contractor with the Federal Bureau of Prisons, and we help people with reentry services coming out of federal prison. When I'm not at work or at City Council or serving the people of Maumelle, I am loving on my 3 beautiful grandchildren and hanging out with Sam. My favorite Maumelle are the parks, the trails. My favorite Maumelle, the fact that where I live, actually there's a good bit of walkability. I live in Ward 3, and if you look around, I go to church right here, the splash pad is right here, the library is right here, City Council chambers are right here, and I can just walk anywhere I want to go. It's just right here, and I think that the future of Maumelle is the walkability of Maumelle.
Next up, we have Councilmember Michael Tierney in Ward 3, Position 2. We met at his home with his famous writing collection.
I'm originally from Kansas, a little town called Pittsburgh, Kansas. I was passing through Little Rock one day back in 1977, had a newborn niece down here, thought I'd visit because who knows when I'd ever come back to Mid-America. I ended up getting a job down here, and it's been a long day. Being on the city council is being the problem solver for all the other residents of the community. If you got a problem, an issue, something that you can't take care of, whether it be with a utility company, a neighbor, or the city itself, you come to us and we're the people who go to bat for you. Outside of city council, I'm a master certified scuba diver. I haven't done much with that in a while. I'm also a professional writer, professional artist, and I write fiction and nonfiction and do quite a bit of it. I like to do a walk on the trails. The trails are very nice. I haven't had much time to use them like I want to. I'm starting to use them more. I spend too much of my time working, and so I've taken what used to be my hobbies and turned those into careers, and they've been all encompassing because I've had good success with them. And you work your entire life to be in demand as a writer and an artist, and once you are, you've got to deliver.
Last but not least, we have Councilmember Doug Shin in Ward 4, Position 1. We met at the City Hall Council Chambers.
Grew up in Malvern. I lived in Arkadelphia for 25 years and then moved to Maumelle. I like photography. I like old cars and like to take our dogs out for walks and hikes and runs.
What is your favorite thing or place in Maumelle and why?
Well, the gazebo, because that's where my wife and I were married. It was a small family gathering. We had about 32 people there. We had our dogs at the wedding. We did not count on the ducks and geese being such interested in what we were doing, and then of course that distracted the dogs a little bit. But as we all know, geese are part of Maumelle. Yes. As my son says, it's the only place that being held up in traffic by geese is an excuse tardy at school. I see Maumelle having a great future. I look at how much it's changed since I came here in 2004, and the changes, I like what I've seen with the leadership. I think we're finally on the same page for the most part, and our vision is pretty close to the same for each of us and where we'd like to see the city go, and that's really exciting to me.
And then we have Councilmember Jess Holt in Ward 4, Position 2, rocking away in the Rolling Oaks neighborhood.
I heard about this place called Maumelle that I had never seen, and one day, just on the spur of the moment, I got up. I lived in Little Rock, and I drove out to Maumelle, and it was a very young town. I have now lived here for 30 years. And not many, only one red light is all we had. Quite honestly, I don't actually get very much time to do very much activity. I enjoy my home very much, and I'm always in the process, and I am in the process now of updating my home. And I do a lot of shopping I have worked in the furniture, interior decorating industry. I have worked in management, industrial industry. So I enjoy my home here. I have a lot of friends, but everyone is so busy with their own lives. And so my daughter lives north and my son lives southwest. And so when we have an opportunity, we get together. But that's probably been my main outlet of family, because we get to have dinner and socialize that way. But I don't play pickleball. I used to play tennis a long time ago, but I've never been a golfer. I knew I wasn't going to make my living trying to hit that ball. When you ask me what my favorite spot is in Maumelle, it's a simple factor for me. I love living in this particular spot because where I live, the soccer field complex is across the street. Rolling Oaks is a feeder street for the rest of the neighborhood, and the neighborhood is a beehive of activity of all kinds, day and night. So it's a very close community. I know all of my neighbors and they all know me, and so I am completely at peace here. I have no desire to move anywhere.